Hello everybody and welcome to Lights Up. It is WNBL Grand Final week. Bendigo against Townsville, the two regional teams. This is probably the grand final that everyone wanted, except for those people in Dandenong. We've got Desi Globitz here, and finally having made it in, Sharon Milner. Shaz, is that right? You had to put some new wheels on your car after the game on Sunday at Dandenong?
I warned you about fire fever. We'll get to that later, but that tip came good, didn't it?
It was. You were the only one that did tip the Fire to beat Dandenong in the preliminary final and get to the grand final against Bendigo. Desi, give us the details of that preliminary final.
So the Dandenong Rangers at home were beaten by the Townsville Fire 64-78. For the Rangers, Steph Cummings had 11 points, Jenna O'Hea 10 points and 9 rebounds. For the Townsville Fire, Michaela Cox was sensational with 20 points and Kayla Standish was huge also with 19 points. Jess Foley, 15, also was a strong contributor.
It was an interesting game to say the least. I think probably a little scrappy, to be kind, in the first quarter, Shaz. And I guess Dandenong's shooting numbers tell a bit of a story for them. They were 2 of 15 on threes for the game. Kath McLeod had 5 points on 1 of 11. Jenna O'Hea was 3 of 12. And Monica Wright was 3 of 12. Now, you've got to think that on any given Sunday, that one of those three is going to shoot better and be hotter than that.
Yeah, well, you'd hope so. But again, we'd have to take our foot out of our mouths if we were going to go on the theory that those guys had bad shooting nights that weren't attributed to the pressure that Townsville put on. Those guys play one-on-one, man-to-man defence. They trust in each other, they rotate, and they make you take low percentage shots. And for those three players to get those percentages, I think is more a tick in the column of Townsville's defence than a blight on their names, because we know they're big game players, and I think they probably did their scout and targeted them and came away with the result, and they looked in control the whole game.
Last week when we spoke to Rachel Flanagan on Lights Up, we asked her what the winning number would be. And I think she said somewhere in the low 70s perhaps.
Yep. And
they've kept Dandenong to 64. So that is pretty impressive defence, Desi.
Oh, it was a huge effort, and I think from the word go, you mentioned a bit of scrappiness in the first quarter, and it was certainly really hard basketball to watch there in the first quarter, but whether that was nerves, whether that was Townsville wanting to make the game an ugly game, which, you know, they were certainly able to do, but I think the other thing which became more surprising, which was surprising and became more apparent as the game went along, was the shot selection for Dandenong for me. As they were unable to bridge the gap and as they were unable to get their noses in front, the decisions out there on the offensive end for me just were cringeworthy at times. And for a team that has won a grand final and a lot of those players have a championship ring to their name, I probably expected a little bit more composure and experience from the players out on the court. And again, as Shaz said, the credit's got to go to Townsville there for the pressure they were able to put on and just for taking the game up to Dandenong the way they did from the word go.
Obviously that defence is going to be, or it has been, their cornerstone. It's going to be their thing again on Sunday in the grand final. So when you talk about decision making and experience and all those sorts of things, someone like Christy Harer, who we're going to be talking to a little later in the show, that's invaluable for Bendigo against that kind of defence, isn't it?
Yeah, I think what we're seeing here in the grand final, we're really lucky, and you can slap me for my point guard bias, but we're seeing two of the best momentum controllers in the game. I don't think you would ever go to a Townsville or Bendigo game and see a flurry of up, back more than 3 or 4 times before Rachel Flanagan or Christy Harer pull the ball out and settle. And I think that's the key for both of these teams arriving where they are on Sunday, is the play of their ability to control momentum. And I think there's a lot of talk about other teams being fit and athletic, and no one talks about Townsville or Bendigo, but they've both executed and hit big shots and run away with games in the fourth quarter time and time again, and I think it comes down to their ability to really control momentum.
If we look at the head-to-head between Townsville and Bendigo, December 14, Townsville 56 defeated Bendigo 52. Cox had 13 for Townsville, Richards 17 for Bendigo. A month later, it was Bendigo 80 over Townsville 72. Gabe Richards 29-11 with a big game. Standish had 14 and 8 for Townsville on that one. And the last time they played on February 16 was Bendigo 66 over Townsville 57. Kelsey Griffin 19 and 11 for the Spirit. And Jess Foley had 15 and 7 for Townsville. So that, it's not like it's been a lopsided rivalry this season, has it? It's a 2-1 series. But what have we got? 4 points, 8 points, and 9 points. Now, Shaz, you're the history buff here because you're the oldest out of all of us. Give us a bit of history on fourth place teams, which Townsville has been, actually getting to a grand final and winning it.
Very intriguing, this stat actually, GB. You two can use this as your out clause for not tipping them for the last 2 weeks. But yes, they're going into, I guess, potentially making part of history. There's only been 2 teams who have come from 4th place and won the championship. The first one was in 1985, Coburg, the then Coburg Giants, I think they were, and in 1990, Nunawading. So we're looking at 22 years passing before the 4th team has actually won a championship. And I think if you look further than that, there's not many who have come from outside the top 2.
We'll have a more of a closer look at the grand final coming up. But in the meantime, we're going to have a chat to Bendigo Spirit captain and WNBL living legend Christy Harer. She's been around the league almost since it started, and she just celebrated a birthday. It was her 45th birthday, and she's done an amazing job to be able to get out there and keep on playing. Bendigo Spirit captain Christy Harer. Christy, congratulations on your birthday and congratulations on the grand final.
Thanks, guys, and I must admit I'm not 45. I'm a lot younger than that, thank you, and still running around at a good age.
You are running around, Christy. This year you've been unstoppable. I know there's talk of retirement, but from where I sit, you are just absolutely running away with the MVP if I was voting. How's your body feeling? What have you attributed to, I guess, how healthy and fit you're looking this year?
Yeah, the body's feeling okay. It's actually has been feeling a little bit old this week. After the second semi-final, it took so much out of me. Look, the first half of the season, you know, I was really pain-free, and you could probably see that in the way that I was actually playing. I felt, you know, that I was playing really well. I had a lot of confidence coming off the Olympic campaign, but the second half of the year, my Achilles have come back, and my dad, as coach, has been trying to keep my numbers down in most games until we got to the second semi-final, and I had to play the 40 minutes. But, you know, look, I'm making sure that I'm doing all the rehab to get right for this week on Sunday to play Townsville.
Christy, Shuz just glossed over that. She wasn't brave enough to really ask you the question she wanted to ask. Are you going to retire after Sunday?
To be honest with you, I don't know, honestly. I have not really thought about it. There's times you know, maybe before the season, I said this was probably going to be my last season, but, you know, I suppose it really depends if we win or lose, and, you know, if we have you know, I suppose a good grand final, I'll think about it, but I'm not going to make any decisions right now.
Christy, as a fellow country Victorian, it's fantastic to see a WNBL grand final being hosted in Bendigo, and also 2 country teams in the grand final. Been a long time between drinks for you since 1994 with your last title. I'm just wondering if you can share with us what it means to you and also what it means to the town and the people of Bendigo to be hosting and to be playing in this grand final.
Yeah, for me it means a lot. You know, I feel like it's right up there with my Olympic campaigns, and that's because I am a born and bred Bendigo girl, you know, and we were on the brink of, we were in debt last year, and we didn't know where we would be this year, and we didn't even know if we'd have a good team or anything like that, and the group that we've put together has just been unbelievable. You know, I don't think that we have a lot of superstars like other teams, or a lot of Opals players like other teams have, but we have one of the best teams that play together as a team, and for Bendigo, it's huge. I think, you know, they sold 2,000 tickets over 2 days when they first went on sale, and it's just massive. I mean, we get so much media coverage in Bendigo as it is for basketball, and I know the last week we've been front and back page of the Advertiser, and so many people are jumping on the bandwagon, but I'm happy for people to do that if they want to come to our game and pack it out and get behind us and really push for us to win a championship.
Christy, so just finally, obviously you would have kept an eye on Townsville and how they're travelling, and not sure if you were at the game last weekend, but they certainly look like they're in form. How are you approaching them this weekend?
You know, I think I watched both Adelaide and Dandenong play them, and both teams probably shot poorly against them. I probably shouldn't say probably, they did shoot poorly against them. And I don't know if that come back to their mindset of both Adelaide and Dandenong. I don't know if they respected them enough. Maybe they'd beaten them through the season and they probably just thought that they would go on the court and win. For us, we have lost to them once, and both games have sort of been close at our home court. So We have all the respect in the world for Townsville. You know, if you're not going to respect a team in a grand final, you might as well not be there. So for us, we've got to make sure that we stick to our game plan. We've got our home crowd behind us. You know, I'm sure there's going to be nerves by both teams when we first step out on the court. But if we can really control tempo and get through our stuff, hopefully we'll be in good shape and shoot the ball well. Hopefully we'll walk away with the championship. Well,
I guess we'll know probably by about 5:30 on Sunday afternoon whether that's the case or not. Good luck on Sunday. Obviously all of Bendigo is going to be behind you, and I think it's a great story, the two country teams in the regional teams in the WNBL Grand Final. Good luck, Christy.
Thank you very much, guys.
There's Christy Harer, the captain of the Bendigo Spirit, and as we said, one of the living legends of the WNBL. All right, there's Christy Harer. Let's have a little look now at some of the keys for the Grand Final, and let's go to the point guard biased co-host here. Will Flanagan and Harer match up head-to-head in this one?
I think they will. Look, you've got Flanagan, who's won Defensive Player of the Year twice in the league. You've got who I think is the MVP of the league, and Christy Harer. I can't see why she wouldn't go to her. The only reason I'd suggest is Bendigo run a lot of on-balls. Harer was effectively unguardable off and on ball without help or double teams, which almost nullifies the, I guess, impact of a Flanagan, and she may go to Wilson, who, as we know, was just on fire and really the key to them getting into the grand final. So that would be the only variation, but I can't see why you wouldn't start them head-to-head.
Your turn. Gabe Richards, we mentioned with Christy. How does Townsville combat Gabe, and who do you think they put on her?
I think they'd have to start Adair on her. I'm unsure what that matchup was in previous games, but from looking at the way she was able to match up against Dandenong, I can't see why you wouldn't start her. However, I think foul trouble's a concern for her. We saw her get into foul trouble against Dandenong, getting up to 3 fouls and then give away a really cheap, quick 4th foul, which I think was a little bit concerning. And if that happens against Gabe Richards, I think they're in a lot of trouble. Having said that, their team defence has been excellent and the help is excellent, so to see how they go. Let's see how smart you really are. What's your tip? Well, Mark from Townsville. I do love the Fire. I did play a season under the Fire, as Mark pointed out to me on Facebook today.
I can feel a butt coming here.
There is a butt coming. No, there is respect. I do love the Fire. And the Townsville people should be...
Just say Bendigo.
Let me go. The Townsville people should be really happy with this tip because I've been wrong 2 times in a row. I'm going to stick to form. 3 strikes and I'm out. I've clearly got no idea if I get this wrong. I'm tipping Bendigo. I think they're too strong at home and too experienced. I have huge respect for Fire. I have huge love for Fire. I don't think they can do it. And I think that's in everyone in Townsville's favour that I've gone against them.
Well done. Shaz, who are you tipping?
Well, you know, GB, I'm prone to change. Last week I tipped Bendigo for the championship, but I just got my run of fire fever again, and I'm on the bandwagon. I think this is going to be, I know the fairy tale in Bendigo is the story finishing happily ever after with Christy Harer walking off with the championship, but for me, the fairy tale is the underdog story of Townsville. I know both organisations were in a bit of trouble, fought their way into the league. Love to see either of them win, but I just think the way Townsville are playing has grand final written all over it.
It certainly does, and they're in the grand final, which is a good thing. But I think Bendigo. I think the travel factor is going to catch up with Townsville. They've been on the road since, I think, the last weekend of the regular season. And I think just about now, their legs are going to start getting heavy, and I think Bendigo will be a little fresher, and I think Bendigo might just get it. After the grand final comes the Night of Nights, the MVP Awards night. March the 24th at Crown. Tickets are available for the public if they want to get along at basketball.net.au. Let's get, we know who she's going for. She's got 16 point guards in the top 10 for this. All right, you declared Christy Harer over the line before in the MVP. Are you going to stick with that?
I am, yep.
And your tip?
Yeah, I think she's right. I think it's between 3. I think it's between Jenna O'Hay, Susie and Christy, but I think Christy might get it too.
Okay, well, just to be different, I'm going to go with the Batgirl. I think the Batgirl's had a fantastic season. She's missed a few games, but I think she is the pick. So I guess we'll see what happens on March 24th at Crown. That's the MVP for the WNBL, the NBL, and various Basketball Australia awards at Crown. March 24th, basketball.net.au if you want your tickets for that. Let's move on now to our viewer questions, and fittingly for the grand final edition of Lights Up, we have 3 great questions from 3 of our female viewers. And the winner for this will win a $100 Skins voucher. A very generous sponsor, Skins, for us over the course of the season with our questions. Our first question, and we'll throw this one at you, Shaz, is from Jodie Partridge, who asks, given that Townsville have travelled interstate the past 2 weeks, do you think a third week of travel will take its toll in the game against Bendigo?
Well, I know what you think, GB. You're already giving your hand on this one, but I am staying firm in the belief that they are playing such solid, no-frills finals basketball. I think they step onto that court, they see, 4 white lines around them and 2 rings, and that's it. They don't worry about fatigue or where they're not being on their home court or not on their home rings. And look, that last quarter, Michaela Cox stepped up. She hit 2 massive threes. They've got fitness behind them. Don't worry about that. And their organisation is so professional. I have no doubt they'll be settling into Bendigo with plenty of time to adjust. And I can't see it being a factor, but a really good question.
No, I think they'll enjoy the flag-ins at Bendigo. It'll be fantastic. Our next question is from Evie Labers, who asked Desi, Bendigo is the home team, have had a rest, had a weekend off. Should this make them the favourite, or will Townsville be more match ready for the final?
I might ignore the favourite bit of that question because I think I've played my hand there, and we know who I think is the favourite. However, the one thing that stuck out to me in this question is that the last time Bendigo had a bye, they lost coming off the bye. It was their first loss of the season. They won 6 straight, had a bye and lost to Canberra in the following round. So I wonder if that's in Bendigo's minds at all. However, we've heard from Christy Harer, the one person that would have been absolutely loving the week off was Christy Harer and her Achilles. So they will be in tip-top shape and ready to go. I don't think it will have a huge impact on the game.
Okay, our third and final question from Catherine Thompson. Shaz, who, in your opinion, has the better defensive lineup?
Yeah, now you're challenging me. This is a tough one, isn't it? 2 of the best defensive teams in the league, while they might not have, I guess, the individual defenders who get noted, they've just got so much trust, and I think that comes back to really the personnel and the quality of players they've got. They've got a lot of trust in each other. They all rotate and help well, but I think you just got to look at the stats, and Bendigo have been the leading defensive team all year. But in saying that, I mean, when you tune into ABC, or if you get down to the game and you're lucky enough, you're seeing 2 of the best defensive teams in the league, no doubt about it.
Back to you now, Desi. You get to pick the winner. The $100 Skins voucher. Who gets it?
I think the $100 Skins voucher goes to Catherine Thompson up in Townsville this week. So great question, and thanks for sending it in, Catherine.
Catherine Thompson, the $100 Skins voucher. Somebody from the WNBL will be in contact with you about getting your prize out to you. That just about brings us to the end of our grand final episode and our season. Don't forget the grand final on Sunday. It is at 3:45 at Bendigo Stadium if you can get there, or it is live on ABC TV right around the country. For the people that are going to be at the game, there's going to be all sorts of activities, including a best dressed fan prize. So get dressed up. I can't wait to see what Shaz is.
My mind's ticking, don't worry.
I can't wait to see what Shaz is going to wear in the best dressed fan competition. Take some photos at the game. They'll be posted on Facebook. Get them on the Facebook page for the WNBL. There'll be plenty of prizes there. There'll be plenty of feedback. It's going to be a great day. And of course, when you put those photos up on Facebook, Shaz, can't wait to see yours. Not sure about Desi. But all the fans, they can follow the league on Facebook. They can follow the league on Twitter at WNBL, at Desi Globitz 6, at Sharon Milner 4. And of course, you can follow everything on WNBL.com.au. And of course, we need to thank and acknowledge our sponsors who have been with us right throughout the season, Desi. And it starts with IINet,
Champion,
ABC,
Australian Sports Commission,
Sporting Pulse,
Sporting, and ANFA. That's it for this season for us. We've had a lot of fun doing the show. Hopefully, we'll have done a decent enough job to come back next season, Desi.
That'd be lovely. Hope so.
Fingers crossed. What about you, Shaz? You need some work.
This is true.
Hopefully until next season. Good luck to everybody in the grand final this weekend. That's it for Lights Up.